No, when a cookie crumbles, you're eating it and it's like brittle and it falls apart. So now you can't really eat the crumbs.
Sure you can. You can lick them off your
Well,
plate.
that's where you're having a problem is
Dude,
because
what you
most
do,
people are
here's-
saying, "Oh, now I don't have a cookie," but you're like, "Well, yeah, I do. I got crumbs."
No.
Hey, everybody! Welcome to the Merriment Podcast, where you're hanging out with your favorite neighborhood married couple while we shoot the shit after our baby has gone to bed. Ooh, that's a good saying. I am one half of this star duo, Carly Jensen, writer, voice actor, mom, former radio personality, and Johnny Jensen is the other half, director, motion graphics designer, dad. This week is pretty low-key, actually. We only talk about things like man kegels and peeing the bed mysteries and other adult things. Johnny gets carried away talking about his idol, Tim Heidecker. I share my top-notch secrets about how to scare a fly out of your house. And we learned who was right about the meaning behind the saying, "That's how the cookie crumbles." Also, which one of us has been saying nuclear wrong our whole lives? Find out all that and more while you kick back, relax, grab something to make you feel good, and join the merriment. Here we are with podcast number 7.
18.
Wow. We can vote. The podcast can vote.
The podcast can vote, but it won't.
No. Because it's just too Vancouver.
It just doesn't understand local politics enough to care.
It only reads the headlines, and so it doesn't think it has a strong enough opinion.
Yeah, that's 18. That's us. That's us right now.
Actually, no. I feel like 18-year-olds these days are the ones that are actually like stepping up to the plate and going to the polls.
I hope so. I don't know that for sure. I don't really talk to 18-year-olds.
My 18-year-old niece is pretty with stuff. Although,
you think she would vote? Do you really think? I don't think she would. Maybe she would.
I feel like if it affected, if she knew that if it affected matters in her life, yes, she would vote. But I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know.
It's
like
hard
what?
to say. Transgender rights, and LGBTQ stuff.
LGBTQs.
Just I don't know all the letters in there. I probably threw like a P in there or something.
Yeah, you did. For polyamorous. Pretty soon.
You know, things like education, like post-secondary education, and basically just like liberal rights,
you gotta be pretty
environmentalist
informed.
stuff.
You got to be pretty informed.
Yeah, you do.
Which is not.
That's just not the way of things these days.
It's not the easiest thing to do, I must say.
Actually, we were talking about this earlier today, and I feel like this relates to it. There's so much stuff out there for us to take in now with social media. Like, you can spend hours on social media, Facebook, Instagram, whatever, taking in all the posts that people do. And for me, I can tell myself, input is good. You're taking in people's perspectives and just getting a broader perspective on the world. But it's a bunch of noise. Like, most of the time, the stuff that we're reading on social media isn't very well informed. We're not going like to the sources of proper journalism or science or, reading authored books. That's what I want to start spending my time doing more of, is when I'm like spending a little too much time on social media while I'm like nursing Forrest or something. Instead, just be like, wait a minute, maybe I could, listen to a podcast with a scientist or, read a well-written book. Instead of reading this article, blog post from somebody who has a strong opinion about something.
And doesn't that make you want to work on those longer form things as opposed to just concentrating on just getting initial reactions?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's where I'm at these days.
Yeah.
And I feel like I've spent so much time just working on just short form storytelling, things that are just going to be communicated within like, I don't know, 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes if you're lucky, but geez, like they're not gonna hold on for 5 minutes. You're lucky to have their attention for a minute and a half. It's like,
I know.
It's like it really squeezes the art form down to just surface level stuff.
Yeah, it is the attention span for a lot of people these days. But guess what?
Yes and no, though. I think attention span has been it's very split. There's a lot of, it's like duality. There's like our attention span is much longer with things like podcasts.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, we listen to 3-hour podcasts sometimes.
Or like binge watching series.
Mm-hmm.
People are, or it's cut down to a minute and a half. It's that middle ground that isn't as much anymore.
Right. It's like, well, I mean, it's funny though, because we don't like to commit to a movie as much as a TV show.
But often we'll be like, oh, let's watch another episode.
I know, right? It's like we don't have time to watch a movie, but we can watch 2 episodes of Westworld.
And they all have their little arcs, but it's like it's that larger continual arc. Is there a washing machine going on?
Oh yes, it's the washing machine.
Can we pause it?
It will have to start all over again.
Oh,
that's annoying. Well, I mean, no,
I guess
we can do it.
Well, no, I don't want to waste water.
It's a bunch of diapers.
Oh, we got to get those diapers clean.
We're not going to run out or anything.
Well, you know what? Our listeners are just going to have to suck it up and be okay.
Every time you hear like, oh my gosh, there's a ghost in their house. Washing machine.
It's
oh my gosh.
Dirty diapers being washed.
How many times have I done that not at this house, but at a different house when I lived, or like when I wasn't living with you and my sister was there, but nobody was around. And I'd put the washing machine on. And then like every time, about 15 minutes later, I'd hear a noise in my house and I would just look around really creeped out like, who is in my house? And then I'd be like, oh yeah, I put the washing
machine. I've been getting that at nighttime lately. Now that our downstairs neighbors, they're on vacation. And so it used to be that if I heard like what sounded like a door shutting or like footsteps, I'd be like, oh, it's just our friendly neighbors downstairs keeping the house warm. But like the last few nights, knowing full well that no, they're not here, I've been hearing those same sounds, and I'm just thinking home invader. And it's been hard. I hate that, but I just get so... It used to be every time I smoked pot, I would be like,
we need to get a safe.
We need to get a safe. We need to get a fireproof safe. Why don't we have a fireproof safe? Oh my gosh, we don't have the enough insurance. we're going to get robbed. It's just my mind goes right there to being like really responsible about everything. And then now I've been getting that when I go to sleep. As keeping me awake.
Oh no, you're getting like paranoia.
Yeah, but not because of pot, because I had to stop that habit because of it's just purely made me a negative.
Every time you smoked it, it was like, I would even be able to tell if you were like with friends and then we reconvene and you start to talk about a fireproof safe. I'm like, oh, did you smoke some pot?
That's what happens every time. Is that bugging you?
Yeah, it is bugging me.
Did you turn on the dishwasher too?
Heck no.
Why don't we pause it?
Machine. Yeah, let's just pause the wash.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, not it.
What? Okay, if I get up, I'm gonna
look at me though.
No, I'm buried right now.
Me too.
No, I'm not. Like I have to crawl over this couch, that couch, and you to get out of here.
I gotta put my legs down, replace the microphone.
My microphone's actually like leaning on me.
You could get up around. I've seen you do that.
Okay, we're not turning the washing machine off.
I don't want to do it.
I don't want it to turn off that badly.
But it's so... I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm in this predicament a lot when it's just like, oh, I have to pee, but I'm so tired. But I'm just going to...
oh my gosh, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, it's 4 a.m. I'm awake probably because I have to pee. But I don't want to get up because I'm too tired, but I have to pee. And that cycle is just in a circle.
Mm-hmm. And now for me, it's add forced into the mix. It's like, okay, I am stuck in bed with the baby sleeping on me and he still has my boob in his mouth and I need to brush my teeth and get changed into my pajamas. How badly do I want to do those things? Do I want to like risk him waking up trying to get him off me? Or do I just like drift off to sleep and hope it doesn't bother me too much when I wake up?
And you usually do the latter.
Yeah. Last night happened. I think it happened the night before too.
Last night was weird. I knew I had to be up at like 4:45.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, that's really early. That's even earlier than Forrest wakes up. But still, I would be like, oh, is it almost? And I'd be so curious. I'd wake up and be like, oh, is it almost time to get up? And then I'd look at the clock and be like, it's 11:30.
Oh, that's the worst.
And then
Why do we do that? Why does that always happen when you have to get up early?
I don't know. And then my paranoia came in because I was like, oh, there's people in the house. There's robbers. It almost like in my mind, I would be like, I just want to know, is it a ghost? I would be totally okay if it was a ghost.
Just let me know it's a ghost.
Or a robber, so I can be like 911, 911, and then call 911 and then shout, I called the police. Get out, please. Please get out of my our house. Don't take anything or hurt us. Just
but
leave.
then it would actually be a dream and you never did that. Do you ever get that where it's like you're in that dilemma of, okay, I'm going to get up and brush my teeth now. But then you actually dream that it happened and then you never actually did it. Oh, it's like I had to do that the other night because I had to change Forrest's diaper. And I started to dream that I changed his diaper. And I'm like, okay, there we go.
Oh, no.
No, you didn't.
I had a dream that I get these dreams now, but my adult bladder is good at, or my adult kegels. Is that what stops pee?
I mean, this is hearsay.
But is that like when
your
I
Kegel
flex
muscles?
that,
Yeah.
I'm just like stopping the pee.
Mm-hmm.
Do men have kegels?
Yeah, totally.
Well, okay, so my man kegels are very trained to not let out the pee, but
you trained those bad boys.
I used to what dreams I have now when it's like I gotta pee and I'm swimming in the lake. I'm swimming.
Oh, it's so persuasive.
In the lake, and I'm just like, oh, this is what we do when we swim in the lake. Oh, and then like as an adult, I just kick myself awake. But as a kid, it was like, you're swimming, just do it.
And then you're really swimming in your bed.
Yeah, and it's pee. Man, that was the worst. And you had to get up.
Oh,
and then
waking up in a wet bed.
Oh.
It happened to me once. It was the worst, actually. I had my older cousin.
It happening once.
Yeah. Well, I don't remember. I just remember waking up in it. But one of my favorite older cousins was over. And like I was now getting to the age where she liked hanging out with me. And so she slept with me in my bed. And it was like, yeah, this is great. And we wake up and we're both all wet. And I'm like, maybe we're just sweaty.
Oh, no.
And then it was like, no, it smells like pee. And I was so embarrassed.
That sucks.
That's the only time I ever remember wetting my bed.
Man, I remember there was like a story, an investigation as kids. Cousin Mark was sleeping over. You haven't met him.
Cousin Mark? This sounds so foreign.
Cousin Mark.
Cousin Mark?
Yeah.
On which side of the family?
Well, Ben's
brother?
Younger brother.
Oh, okay.
Great guy. Really great. He would come over and make us amazing food. He's a great cook. Love that guy. Mark, if you're listening, probably not. Shout out to
Love
you and your cooking. Love you. Anyways,
continue the story.
He was, when we were cousins, we would share beds. That's what we did. And it was great. And James woke up and he was completely covered in pee. And he was like, and he
gross.
was, and Mark is like older, but it was like Mark didn't have pee on him. Only in like one little spot, but James was covered. So,
what?
But James was like older, quite a bit older. So it was
James
like
was or Mark was?
James was, and so like it was like, oh, James like he wouldn't have peed his pants, peed the bed, and then we realized that he like Mark just like shot a stream out of his underwear.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That's so gross.
Isn't that weird? No, I've done this in the past where I've told a story that did not make
it didn't have proper merit,
but
and
this
it
is just a
make the person sound
childhood
good.
memory, and I think it's fine because it's a childhood memory. So Mark, I'm sorry if you're
this
offended.
okay, and let's just say kids are still learning to control their bladders, so it's totally passable. It's not a reflection on a person.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's no reflection on you. If you pee your pants as an adult, and you talk about it, good for you. Confidence.
We talked about you peeing your pants just a couple episodes ago.
Yep. But that's on purpose, and that feels great. It's one of those.
I couldn't do it, especially not if I was properly wearing shorts. Like in a bathing suit, no, I don't want to feel my own pee trickling down my leg. That's so gross.
There's something great about doing something that you never do, and allowing yourself to do that. That's great. It's like you're just like crossing that boundary.
But it really depends to me, like if it's gross or not. Like, oh, you know something I never do? Pick my nose and eat it, but. In this context, this time, I'm going to do it.
Yeah, but smell and taste are different. You know, like, this is just like a feeling, a warmth, and then you jump right in the water.
Oh, but it's pee.
And I don't know, maybe it's more foreign for women, because men are used to kind of standing up and peeing.
That's true.
And it's like a targeted spot. You know, based on where your junk is situated, where the pee is headed in a stream.
Definitely, that's not how it works for girls at all.
No.
You don't know where that's going.
Right. So that's why as a guy it's a little bit easier, because you can just like, oh, it's just running down this one stream on the right side of my shorts.
That's interesting. So you just kind of, if you can project.
There's a predictability to the male's pee stream in the pants.
Peeing your pants as a male, more comfortable perhaps than peeing your pants as a girl.
I would pee my pants if the time was right and it would get the proper laugh and it would shock the right amount of people, but the people that would get the humor of the situation were like 51% of the room. I would do it.
Oh my gosh, and everyone else wouldn't get it.
Yeah,
and they'd
as
just
long
think,
as
oh
it's
my
like,
gosh.
Maybe less. Maybe it's like 30%. And they're all high-fiving me, being like, dude.
30% of the people think it's funny and the rest are horrified.
Not just think it's funny. Like, they're laughing with me. Do you know?
Right, okay.
They're just like, they're like, yeah, you had to pee your pants. It was a situation where it's like, man, if you didn't pee your pants, you'd be like, you missed a golden opportunity. No pun intended.
Good thing you said it after the pun.
Golden showers was the intention.
Oh, okay. Well,
for the longest time, I didn't know that golden showers was pee. I thought it was just like, that sounds great. Just like a rich person. It's like, I'm rich. Shower me with gold.
Sounds awesome. But also, isn't golden showers specifically for during sex?
No idea.
Pretty sure that's the definition I ever heard of it.
It's one of your sayings you got to look up. Not a saying, but
I suppose so.
Suppose so.
Oh, it is kind of a saying.
Is
a golden shower?
Is it
a term? I suppose it's a term.
It's a term.
Mm-hmm.
Golden shower. What's pooping on somebody called?
Browntown?
Oh, that's funny. I was going to say Browntown. Wow. That's like a Tim and Eric reference, kind of. So you got that from Rollo, Tony, Browntown.
Good old Tim and Eric. Hey, have you watched much Tim and Eric?
Give me some more.
Are they doing their thing lately?
No. It's Eric Wareheim's running around making wines and tasting food and living the high life.
Wow.
And Tim Heidecker is doing my favorite thing in comedy probably ever. It's genius. Not just Decker.
Oh,
it's
yeah,
Jack
right.
Decker. It's Decker. It's on cinema. Now he's running for the DA of San Bernardino. San Bernardino? Anyways, he's running for...
District Attorney?
District Attorney in this area in
for
California.
Actual real.
Well, what do you think?
This is the thing, though. Tim Heidecker creates this whole... You're so disoriented about whether things are true or not in the world of Tim Heidecker. And so all of a sudden he's doing something like that. You're like, no.
He's a genius. He's an absolute genius. And this is
what's reality?
This is layers upon layers of comedy and character development, and it's spot on. But for instance, I don't even know if it's a spoiler because it's so much content to watch because there's multiple shows that are all connected to each other. So basically, as a part of it, he has this movie review show on YouTube where it's on Adult Swim, where every week they review a new movie, but there's this side stories that are going on with his own life. And in one of the stories, he plays a character called Decker in his own TV show that he gets funding for after the death of his son, Tom Cruise Jr. And he gets a big life insurance settlement out of it that funds this show. And it's so bad. It's
terrible.
So bad. But the comedy is that it is this TV show character that is now as an actor playing. So he's an actor within an actor. Yeah. And then he starts an electronic band that puts on a music festival and ends up and then he also, there's another character who's this plant healer guy who gets them all into vaping. But he's always sick because of it. There's so many layers.
He just creates this world.
It's crazy. And then he there's at some point he gets in trouble with the law where he kills a bunch of people by accident. And then in this music festival, and then there's his court case, and it's actually 5 3-hour-long episodes of an uncut court case.
What?
And they act out the whole thing. It's crazy.
Wow, that's dedication.
Yeah, and then it's through that it kind of screwed him over really bad, and so he kind of, the whole on cinema really got changed after that. Based on it
screwed actual Tim Heidecker over really bad, second level Tim Heidecker?
Second level.
Okay. Okay, we need
And
to
then-
refer to his stuff as first, second, and third. So like
Maybe
first level,
You-
because
you-
it
or you
helps
just
to clear
watch.
it up.
You just watch. You just need to watch it.
I
then
just
we
mean
can-
from my own understanding, because
But
I get
if you
so
watch
confused.
it, you get it. But it's like it's a commitment. It would be like, it's huge. Like they're on season 10.
Because it's a world, right?
Yeah, they're on season 10 of Just on Cinema, and each season has 10 episodes. They're only 10 minutes long, but on top of that, there's 4 or 5 seasons of Decker, and then there's all the court cases, and then he has his music project, which he has songs for, and then now, after all that, he's running for district attorney, so he has his own website. Like he has a... Yeah, anyways, I'm this is going to be so boring to anybody who doesn't care. It's just one of those crazy comedic experiences that's more about laughing about the whole situation. Because like there's nothing funny about the court case. It's an actual... I mean, it is funny because he's like... His character is so ridiculous, but it's very realistic.
Did they have anything
Kind of.
to do with, just like comedy-wise, I'm like, did they have anything to do with the Too Many Cooks, Too Many
No,
Cooks?
but they're associated with Adult Swim, who
right.
did that.
Okay, yeah, that was really
And
funny.
their production company does a few of the shows
Too
on
Many
Adult
Cooks.
Swim.
It's so good. If you've never seen Too Many Cooks, you got to look it up.
Go to www.toomanycooks.gov.
Just go to carlyandjohnny.com. We'll post it.
We will?
Yeah.
All right, and we'll post a link to On Cinema,
Mhm.
Adult Swim.
For show.
We can get all
When
caught
did
up.
you discover Tim and Eric? Because they were
Oh my
really
gosh.
influential in a lot of like
2007 when they started,
2007.
when I
so that's-
graduated.
Whew. So many of the videos that you made, like so many of the Fields of Green
Oh, yeah,
vlogs that you ever
they've-
did are
yeah.
influenced by
Very
Tim,
much.
Tim and Eric.
Very.
right?
We were all very much influenced by Tim and Eric.
I actually
Probably
fell
more
for-
so Tim Heidecker.
I
than
fell for
anything.
your videos before I fell for you.
Whoa.
Like-
so you're like, I'm in love with these videos.
I was showing people. I was like, I knew you and we were kind of friends, but I just thought like you and your videos and your friends were freaking hilarious. And so my family like knew who you were before
Wow.
we were even dating, because I was just like, you gotta see this guy's videos. They're so funny.
Videos.
Oh, like you guys falling on each other. I love that one.
That's my favorite one. That's the most underrated, underwatched video. And
It's
it just
so
came
good.
out of an idea. I remember when we thought of it. We were just like, I think we were just smoking pot on the deck of our apartment. We were like, you should just like fall over each other. And it was like, that's funny.
Oh, so good. But still one of my favorites is Johnny Quit the Band too.
The sequel.
Yeah, the sequel.
Yeah.
Because you know what I love about that one is everybody gets a chance to shine. Like you just see every band member's like a little bit of their personality come out. And probably my favorite is at the end, Kyle's dimples when he smiles as he catches the frisbee, and he's like, that concludes
Day two
Yeah. of the Peak Boot Camp. And it's like this happy music after you guys killed somebody.
The one weird thing is like, and this always bugged me with all of our band stuff. It wasn't just like, I think this may be why none of our videos really caught on. Is like it was all contextual. You had to know first that we were a band. And then when we were doing stuff for the Peak Performance Project, not only did you know that we were a band, have to know that we were a band, but you also had to know that we were in a competition called the Peak Performance with all these other bands.
Right, totally.
So like now that I'm kind of getting more into just storytelling, it's like it's you have to kind of set up the story at the
Totally.
very beginning, you know, and assume that your audience is gonna know jack squat. And that's a really tough thing.
Totally. Isn't it funny though? Like as you just get older and more experienced, and you look back on stuff that you made before, and you have totally new eyes on it.
Yeah.
It's like that friggin' Indiegogo campaign video that we made for when I was trying to make my Color the Wild album, or I'd already recorded
Yeah.
it, but I needed funds to like get it out there. And yeah, it was just.
What was the
it
story?
was-
Hey, I'm a radio personality.
Oh,
and
right
made
away I
music.
cringe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I look at it, I'm like, okay, there's so many different things I could have done. I just could have thought it
Yeah.
out more. But that's the thing about looking back on old stuff that you've done. At the time, hopefully you don't know that it's, you know, rough and cringeworthy to future you. But, you know, you need to go through making less than stellar stuff in order to get, you know, more practice and get better at it.
Yeah. Huh?
So you just got to forgive that younger, less experienced you.
Yeah, and just as long as you learn from it, then you could just say, you know, like it's like Forrest. He's not going to look back at all the times he bonked himself in the head
Be like, you idiot.
You idiot. Oh, but he's like, now I'm not bonking myself in the head because I had to go through all that pain and embarrassment of bonking.
You know what I actually thought of before is somebody like Jim Carrey. I revere Jim Carrey. I think he's like hilarious. I love Jim Carrey's comedy, and he's just really funny. But he guaranteed had some like really rough, cringeworthy shows early on when he's first getting started.
Did he?
Oh, for sure. Oh. Because every comedian does. There's not a chance that there's any comedian out there that always just was really well received. And that's it. Without like sometimes where it's like, oh man, that person was too much, or
too much.
You know, just like, oh, that was an embarrassing set or whatever. Guaranteed Jim Carrey had some rough times, but he's also like one of the most hilarious comedians ever.
Oh yeah, man.
So when you think about that, then it's like, okay, I can screw up too, because if Jim Carrey can screw up, then I can screw up.
Yeah, but
the stupid fly.
There's a fly in this room, and it is freaking me out right now. If you've been hearing me gasping, unfortunately, it's not because I'm totally taken by Carly's story. It's because there's a fly in here, and it's fucking with me.
You know what I do when there's flies? Although it has to be near a door. You know, okay, I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret of how to get a fly out of your house. Fail proof.
It's getting me every time. It
might just
fail
be
safe.
It might just be that
or is it a fail safe? Wait, fail safe? Fail safe. What does that mean?
I really don't know. I was kind of dancing around saying fail safe, and I was like, I don't know.
I think it's fail safe. Is it fail safe because you're like safe from failing?
Yeah, we're gonna go with fail safe.
But
you
winked at me when you said that.
I think I was just like squinting because I was trying really hard.
We're gonna go with fail safe, as in you're gonna be like, we're moving on.
Oh yeah, well that too.
Okay. We should have a signal when we don't want to talk about moving on. Or we should have a signal
when we don't want to talk about moving on.
But when the other person's saying is like boring, but we don't want to be like, it's as boring.
Okay, a wink. I like it.
I think more like a hand gesture.
Maybe a hand gesture would be good because I accidentally wink sometimes.
Like, yeah, like just right there. Like we do this.
It's just a good flip a bird.
That'd be so offensive.
F you. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
Maybe it would be like this. What about this? Oh no, did you just pick a hole in your pants?
I didn't pick it. I was trying to pick off this what I thought was a piece of food, and it's not a piece of food. It's a hole in my new TNA pants.
Technically, that means you did pick it.
No, I mean, it was already there. I didn't pick. Okay, English language semantics. We don't have to get into this.
You picked it.
Okay, can I just talk about this fail-safe way to get a fly out of your house? This is the signal?
Is it the pinky?
You don't want to talk about it?
No, sure. We can.
Okay, all right.
I was just saying, you picked up on it.
I did, of course. It's like a pinky next to your face. Okay, this is not fun for people listening. They can't even see what's going on here. Pinkies, yes, we have a pinky signal.
You're not supposed to talk about it.
Oh, right.
Go ahead, talk about your story.
Okay, so anyway, if there's a fly in your house, you need to it needs to be near a door or close to. You need to know where the door is that you want the fly to go through to get the heck out of your house. Then you go running towards the fly with your arms in the air, and you make a sound that's like, and you chase it, and you try and fill as much of the space that you don't want the fly to go as you chase it towards the door. And it might take a little bit of maneuvering, but pretty much every time I can get the fly to go out the door and go outside. You just got to be really scary, and you got to fill the space that you don't want the fly to be in, and it's just like, it's everywhere, run.
So is the sound important?
Yeah.
Or can you do it quietly? Like if let's say you have neighbors that can hear everything and are really bothered by the sounds that we make. Would you do that?
First off, I don't think we would have neighbors that would tell us that it bothers them.
Perfect. Then it's fine.
So then it's fine, yeah. Anyway, that's how you get a fly out of your house. And pretty soon it's going to be fruit fly season. And so I'm already ready with my...
I hate fruit. I don't think fruit flies will work like that. They're just like...
No. You can't chase them out the door. No, there's a different tactic.
What's the tactic?
Well, it's just you take a cup and you put some apple cider vinegar in there, a couple of drops of... apple cider vinegar, maybe a couple of tablespoons.
Right.
2 to 3 drops of dish soap. And then you put some saran wrap over top, poke some holes in the saran wrap. So then the fruit flies fly and they go into the cup through the holes. Because the thing is about fruit flies, they love going through tiny little spaces.
They love little holes.
They're just like, ooh, I'm not supposed to go in here. I'm just going to slip right in. And you're like,
sneak right in there. Gotcha.
So they go into the cup, and then they try and land on the apple cider vinegar, which normally they'd be able to just stand on the top of it, just like slurp up all that sugary goodness. But the dish soap has cut the density of the apple cider vinegar.
Damn.
So the fruit flies sink to the bottom.
And then
drown,
pretty
dead,
soon you'll
done.
get a fruit fly graveyard.
Mm-hmm. So you don't even have to worry about how big the holes are, really.
Right.
You probably don't exactly need the saran wrap on top. We could probably do it plastic free, and you'd still just have a fruit fly graveyard.
Hypothetical situation. Let's say we've entered nuclear winter, and there's no food, just isn't around. Food is stopped. We're starving.
Did you say nuclear?
Yeah. So like a nuke.
It's pronounced nuclear.
Really?
No, it's not.
Nuclear?
That was just a Simpsons reference.
Nuclear?
It's nuclear.
Nuclear?
Mm-hmm.
Nuclear?
But you pronounce it like Homer Simpson. So
nuclear?
Congratulations.
Did I actually say it wrong?
You said nuclear. It's not spelled.
Is it nuclear?
Nuclear.
Oh no! I think I've always said nuclear.
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh no! All the people that I've referenced nuclear things, it's actually nuclear. Nuclear sounds weird in my mouth when nuclear.
It does. It's kind of annoying to say. It's
like
one of those
anytime
words.
There's two like nuclear.
Yeah. It's one of those words that's really annoying to say the right way. Same as like chipotle.
Chipotle.
Yeah, so Chipotle is annoying. A lot of people say Chipotle.
Chipotle?
Yeah, your mom says Chipotle.
Oh, Mom.
Right, but you know what? It's one of the.
Mom.
It feels easier, rolls off the tongue more easily. You know.
Chipotle.
Oh. Chipotle, yeah. And then there's mischievous. Mischievous is actually the correct way to say it, but I hear so many people say mischievous.
Here's a funny story. So my brother, I'll remind me about the nuclear thing.
Nuclear thing, yeah.
You said it wrong.
I'm just referencing how you called it nuclear.
No, but I was talking about the other story,
okay,
which started that. But here's a funny story on this tangent, this side of the wall.
All right, here we go.
We're going to climb over to the other side of the wall.
After.
Just remind me.
Okay.
So my brother, when he first got married to his wife, newlyweds, and Mal was like, okay, let's do a grocery list. We need some groceries. So I'm just gonna say things and you start writing it down. We need to get fruit, and so he writes down fruit. We need to get vegetables, so he writes down vegetables. We need to get, let's say, some beans, so he writes down beans. Let's add some milk.
Get on with the story. You're beating around the bush.
No, it's for effect.
Time to cut the chase.
It's for effect. We need to get some cheese. Just maybe some more dairy, maybe some sour cream, yogurt.
Oh my gosh, this is a long grocery list.
We need to get chips, crackers. They're just newlyweds. They have nothing in the fridge. Oils, your basics. They need to get butter. Oh my gosh,
this is just going on. Is this going to end?
They need
I know that
eggs.
You know
Did
a
I
lot
say
of
eggs?
products from the grocery store, so this is going to go on unless I.
We need to get some sweets, maybe some ice cream. Add that to the dairy section of the list.
Now you're making me hungry.
And nuts. Maybe just some cashews.
Oh, dang.
Mixed nuts. Maybe a trip.
My mouth is watering. You just need to move on to the punchline.
Maybe a trip to the bulk section.
Johnny.
They need some bulk flour.
I don't know what I'm going to do to you, but it's going to be creative and it's not going to be good for you. So you just need to move on right now. Move on. You know what? The punchline is buried. It's going to be ineffective now. It's ineffective. You ruined it. You ruined it. You're gonna pee in my pants.
So funny.
Okay. Anyway,
they just
they're making a grocery list. Newlyweds, Johnny's brother and his sister.
What?
I mean,
my sister-in-law.
Your sister-in-law. Okay. Anyway, is this even gonna be funny to anybody? Oh. Sabotage. Johnny, I haven't seen you laugh this hard in a while.
Feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good to laugh, ladies.
Actually, I have seen you laugh
Newsflash.
Like a week ago at Salt Spring.
It feels good to laugh. So anyways, and one of the things was Tupperware containers, and then he goes to write down CUNT, and then she's like, what are you writing? Because he writes, cunt.
Can't believe you said that.
And then we'll bleep it out. Just in case you can, for kids who can't spell but understand that cunt is a bad word.
Does that exist?
And then turns out that he just combined Tupperware container in Cuntupperware.
Like that's what he thought it was called.
He thought Tupperware was called Cuntupperware. CUNT Upperware.
And for Mallory, his wife, it's just like, what are you
writing?
Why
down?
are you writing that?
Josh. Okay.
So anyway, nuclear.
That was a good story.
All the groceries.
Okay, so
that's a pretty funny thing to think that Tupperware is called.
Okay,
like
nuclear.
Mm-hmm. Nuclear fallout.
Okay, nuclear winter.
Mm-hmm.
So
what does that mean?
Let's say it means that like somebody dropped a nuke, and then it's like whatever something happened that has blocked the sun out of it. It can also happen if like a super volcano erupts. It's not like this. That's why like most of North America will like die, because it's not because of the people around the impact, although that would be huge, but it's also it would block out the sun because of all the ash. Similar with
I gotcha. Okay.
Atomic bombs going off.
Right.
So that happened. All out of food, chaos. The sun isn't there. We can't grow food. We're all out of our preserves. All that is left are cups with fruit flies in the bottom. Would you eat the fruit flies?
If it means I'm going to live, yeah.
But no. But you look at them.
Turn it into a paste.
No, but just listen to this here.
Mm-hmm.
You know that you're gonna die. That's the scariest thing about like a super volcano going off.
Oh.
Is like shit. We're going into nuclear winter, or no, not nuclear. Whatever, it's something winter. And the countdown.
After all this, you didn't even have to say nuclear.
It's gonna block out the sun for could be hundreds of years. So like, you're just gonna have to die slowly from starvation. Would you still eat those?
I would, yeah, because I don't know. I'm an optimistic person that you just hang on as long as possible, just in case some kind of miracle happens.
Now here's the question: would you want to be closer to the blast and just have it end, or would you want?
Not gonna play Would You Rather with that. I hate that.
Why not?
No, I don't.
I would rather it just because, like, man, that's the worst if you just slowly starve to death and like you and everybody around you know that you're gonna die in the next like year, slowly, one at a time. People start eating each other.
Ugh. Yeah.
And
no, I'd rather just die.
Crime, like what the chaos. As soon as like your shelter isn't secured, your like food isn't certain, people will quickly become apes that kill and eat each other.
I am feeling so dark right now. I don't want to talk about this.
That's just a reality. You know what else? You know my latest paranoid thing is that I think about when I go to bed, which we should actually have, and it's embarrassing that we don't on this podcast. We don't have an earthquake kit.
Oh, yeah. What does that even mean?
It's like an earthquake kit. There's like
it's like an earthquake
water,
kit. Oh,
yeah. There's a flashlight. There's water. There's a bunch of stuff in there. People at my work have one at their desk and in their car and at home.
Oh crap! We should get those.
I know, because if there's an earthquake kit and it's like, oh no, we don't have access to water. Does anybody have water? And everybody else has their earthquake kit, and they're like, you can't have ours. Where's your earthquake kit? And it's that I think I'm gonna have those dreams, but like instead of like you show up to school and you just didn't do your homework, I'm gonna start having dreams just like, oh, the earthquake happened. You didn't get your earthquake kit.
Yeah, this is the dad life now.
Yeah,
because you've got a family to protect.
Let's keep talking about me here. Haven't I been sleep talking?
Oh yeah, no, you've been waking up like probably 3 or 4 nights a week, just being like, where is he? Like, or you're worried about him, and I'm not sure. A lot of the times, I'm like 3/4 asleep, trying to assess what it is that you're worrying about. But it always has to do with Forrest. I don't know. Sometimes it's that he's gone, or that he's not breathing, or that he's on the edge of the bed, or something. But you're always just like,
oh my gosh!
And I have to be like, Johnny, just calm down. Everything's fine. Like there's been a few times where I've just like shoved you back down to lying down because like,
and
just
it's
like
what's
stop.
amazing.
You're gonna wake the baby up, and it's
The
not gonna
amazing
go
thing
well.
about this, the shocking thing, is you've stopped telling me that I have those incidents.
'Cause
It
it just
used to be
happens so
like you
much.
told me, and I was like, "Whoa, that's crazy." But now I find out yesterday, be like, "Oh yeah, it's been happening like 3 times a week." It's like, what? When do these become night terrors where I'm throwing lamps across the room?
Well, then that. What? Oh, yeah. Well, hopefully not.
Right?
That's scary.
Jeez.
I don't think it will, though. I mean, it's pretty rational. For the most part, I think it's somewhat rational fears. It's not like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's escalating. But Forrest definitely seems to have gotten your knack for sleep talking.
Yeah.
What was he doing the other night? He just like woke up and was like,
Mama, dada.
nah, Baba, yeah. It's like, are you
man.
awake right now?
One
And then he
day-
just like is lying there with his eyes closed.
Man, maybe it's already happened and you just slept through it, but one day Forrest and I are gonna have a conversation.
Sleep talking.
Sleep talking.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to witness that.
Almost
It's gonna be
happened.
hilarious.
It kind of happened when I sat him up and I was kind of playing with
Hey,
him.
buddy.
Hey, buddy. Maybe now he would sleep talk like, "Hi, dada,
Da-da.
dada, haha."
Oh, so funny.
So funny.
Really, hopefully he doesn't wake up at 4 a.m. again tomorrow morning.
Oh yeah.
That was just very unpleasant.
It was great for me because like, I have to get up anyways and go to work.
Yeah.
Early, super
It was
early.
funny how like last night you're like, well, I gotta leave before you guys are awake, so better say goodnight now and la la la. And then it's
Oh,
like
yeah.
he and I are up at 4 a.m. We're like, oh hey, you've woken up.
And I look over and he has headphones on, just like completely like.
Oh yeah,
listening
that's a
to the
new
Beatles.
discovery. We got these great new headphones, Nadviso.
You're wearing
they're
them
called?
right now.
I am. Oh my gosh, they're on my head. Wow.
Even though they're my birthday present.
You gave them to me
What I
to wear
did?
today.
Okay, it's a gift. Congratulations.
Thank you
And
for
they
tonight.
look good. They work. They sound good.
But yeah, Nadviso HP50, really great headphones. They sound
Great.
awesome.
Great.
I like 'em.
Sponsors of the show too.
Yeah, no, they're not. But they could be. No, but Forrest was
Oh yeah.
was listening. This morning I'm trying to like basically trying to find a creative way so that I can still stay in bed. And sometimes he runs out, to the rest of the house, and I'm just like lying in bed, trying to not fall asleep and just listen to what's going on out in the rest of the house, which is mostly baby proofed, but he could
Not
still
really.
crawl onto things and fall off and hurt himself.
He can grab that saxophone right now.
Yeah, he could. Actually, there's a lot of things that he doesn't get into that he could get into at any moment. And so we've just been taking for granted, basically, that he doesn't get into those things.
Because he can climb now, so he can get onto the couch and get on in that little area. And
I feel
play
like it's
with
not
the
a matter
guitar.
of if, it's a matter of when.
Well, he was up on the piano bench.
Yeah,
What?
got onto the piano bench
That
by
was-
himself,
that's
rocking out on the
crazy.
piano.
We'll post a video of that on our.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
another story.
That was so fun. Okay, we'll get to that in a
He's
second.
a
But
piano player.
Yeah, but we put headphones on him this morning, and it was like he went from being awake and wily and fun and laughing and wanting to play to all of a sudden he's just like in another world. And I just like lie him down on the pillow, and he doesn't move, and he just like stares as he's listening to the Beatles, and he's just like, oh.
What
But
was
at
the
one
song?
point-
Twist and Shout. He was like Twist and Shout was his favorite.
Was it? I feel like his
remember
expression
looking-
didn't change.
No, but I remember looking down at Twist. Like I was like, are they playing like some weird like Within You Without You kind of George Harrison,
yeah.
Hare Krishna song? And
Yeah.
it's like,
Twist
no, he's
and
listening
Shout.
like Twist and Shout, just staring off into space, tripping out.
Oh, that's
I
so
guess
funny.
maybe at the time when it first came out, people were like, Twist and Shout is the
Come on,
shit.
come on, baby.
Never heard this before. It's so original. But now, yeah.
Well, Forrest hears that with pretty much every song.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, this is so original.
He doesn't even know what original means because everything is original.
Mm-hmm. As far as he's concerned. Yeah, but it was nice because then I could just lie there and rest for a while. But it was funny because he's sitting there and he's like, ha, da da, and he like says it way too loud because he's got headphones on.
Oh, that's so funny.
Kids.
Kids.
Oh,
Are
so
you
you?
just-
Oh, you're gonna
you
do this
doing
now? Oh my gosh.
Sorry. That was childish of me.
Not unlike you.
No, that's what I do. Haha.
It is too,
That's,
but
just quirky.
we were going to talk about him dancing at the piano. Oh my gosh. He just wants to rock out on the piano.
It's great.
Seeing you guys do that the other night, I mean, I don't know, it was a daytime or whatever, but it melted my heart. Because I love when you and I track together, when we just like riff, you know? Isn't happening as much in this podcast as the last one, but
this is happening a lot. This is going to be when you look back to this podcast and you're like, we're so tracking.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think.
So cool. So anyway.
But you can let us know in the comment section. Where's Carly
Were Carly and Johnny tracking?
Were they tracking? First of all, what is the definition of tracking?
Well, it's actually what happens, kids. It's what happens when your VCR starts to get a little bit fuzzy, the picture, while you're watching TV. And there's like these weird white and black lines that go across the screen.
And that's
tracking. And then the tracking on your VCR. You just have to press the tracking button and that should go away.
Do you think we are doing that?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, Carly thinks we were doing that more last week.
That sounds obscene for some reason.
Oh.
I don't know. Maybe my mind's just going there.
See, when I think of tracking, I think of track and field. What were you saying? That was a delayed funny.
I just think it's no.
Was that like that's a random laugh, or did you have something?
That was
in
so
your
random.
Head? You were trying to connect it to like a reel.
It didn't. Yeah, it didn't make sense to me. It actually made my brain short a little bit.
Okay, now here's a real test. What were
we talking about tracking? You and Forrest tracking together on the piano.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't work because if you say we were tracking on the piano, it sounds like we were recording.
Okay, but anyway, you guys were riffing together. So I love it when you and I do that, and to see you and Forrest just like you're playing something on like the lower end. And Forrest is just like laying on the top keys and just shaking his head like he's just rocking out. He's so into it.
Feeling the music.
Yeah.
Hard.
And every time you do something new, he's just like going along with it. You guys were really vibing with each other. And I was just like, this is like foretelling of the type of relationship that you guys are going to have. Sweet. Where you can just play and you can riff with each other and you just roll with it. And that's who his dad is going to be to him. That's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool. And it's cool to have those experiences. And with now, even like with shakers and stuff, or like beatboxing, like I'll beatbox, beatbox back, and it'll be so much fun. Or we can just totally groove to a beat. Yeah,
I like even at the dinner table today, he started to pat his leg, and we know that we do that all the time. Both you and I like drum on our legs.
Yeah.
And he starts to do that while the music is on. So you and I both start drumming on our legs, and he's just like, oh, having so much fun because Mommy and Daddy, first of all, he communicated with us. He's like, this is what we do, right? We drum on our legs. And then we're like, yeah, that's what we all do together. And then I started drumming on the table, and then he starts trying to drum on the table.
Yeah.
It's just so fun to track like that with each other.
My favorite now is when I'm like clapping to the beat, he'll want to grab my hands and clap them.
It's so cute.
And put them together.
Mm-hmm.
He's a musical boy. And I don't think that it's because we've trained him to be that way.
We definitely have encouraged it and
and
supported it, but I think that he's got a what do you call it?
Knack?
Yeah, he's got a knack for it.
What does that mean?
I'm not gonna be able to
what
define
does the word
that word
knack
for you right now.
mean?
I'm not really sure, but he's got a knack for it.
I just want to say, this is I've been trying to put things down, and I've been trying to give you gifts as in segues. This whole podcast, you haven't caught on. I've been just like trying to give you a silver platter segue.
You're asking, but it doesn't really work that way because those words, I'm gonna be like, what do you want me to say? Like, I don't know, but
yes,
I did find out.
Yes, you could be like, I don't know, but speaking of which,
the cookie crumbling is not what you thought it was.
But that we have to do a proper segue as if like we have new listeners this week, and then this is what I was imagining. I'd be like, Knack, well, what does that mean? Great question. I don't know, Johnny.
I'll have to look it up. But
you know what? In continuation from our last week's podcast, where we also talked about sayings, I did some research of a few of the sayings that we talked about that we didn't know. So now let's get into that, and then I'll be like, great, this is a very well produced podcast. Now, I have to basically do your job for you.
I appreciate that you thought those were the times that we should now move on to that topic. But I was still waiting for the right time to come. Didn't feel like it was time yet.
I hear you.
Thank you.
This sounds like our marriage counseling. We just have to repeat what the other person was saying.
Okay, so what you were saying basically is that last podcast, we started doing a thing where we're like, you know what? Where the heck do some sayings that we use all the time come from? This is a fun little segment. We look into what sayings mean and we talk about them on the podcast. Like, what the heck are you even saying sometimes? You know, you say something like, well, that's the way the cookie crumbles. What?
What's another saying? Just not something that you wrote down. What's another one off the top of your head? You have your cake and eat it too?
Oh, yeah. Have your cake and eat it too is a good one.
Yeah. Or how about...
Oh, I had one earlier, but I lost it.
Okay.
It's not coming to me right off the top of my head.
Well, okay. Well, what do we have on the list?
Okay. Well, first of all, we're going to talk about the cookie crumbling. The way the cookie crumbles, because last week, what was it that you thought the cookie crumbles means?
I thought that
like that's the way the cookie crumbles, because what I was saying is that it's like when something happens, say, like, let's talk literally. You've got a cookie, you want to eat it, but it falls apart and now you can't eat it, and so you're just going to have to get over it.
Okay. I thought that it was part of a ritual of the ancient Somalians, and when they actually invented the cookie first, and it was more of like a kind of like a flat bread, but it was like a sweet bread that was like, but they overcooked it too much, and it was at first it was a mistake, and it was like there was a waste of food,
right?
But they didn't want to waste food because famines and shit.
Yeah.
And then they were just like, they tried it and it was like, this sweet crumbly bread is so good. But it ended up being cookie. Anyway, that's the context. And they, as a way for public executions, in order to, because this was such a sacred food source for them, because it represented not, wasting food, that the cookie was actually a very sacred part of their culture. And so when they would perform public executions, it was a last forming effort. They would have a line drawn on the ground, and one side meant to die, one side meant not to die, and then they would break a cookie, and then wherever the crumbles landed.
Wow, Johnny, this is so impressive that you just made this up on the spot.
I did not make it up on the spot. I did my research.
Wow.
Look it up. It's real.
It's not.
Look up the origin of the cookie.
Oh my gosh, I'm actually so impressed right now.
But you put up your pinky finger.
It was really getting boring because I was like, where is this going? But you actually, like, how? This is like your ability to rhyme things on the spot while you're just like singing a song randomly. It's like you almost don't even know what's coming out of your mouth, and then it actually all makes sense. You're like, how did he do that?
You just hope. Just have hope. That's all it is. It's just like literally hope.
And then it works out in the end. That's so crazy. Well, anyway, that's definitely different than what you thought the cookie crumbles means in the last podcast.
I don't remember what it was last time.
That's okay. You know what? But what it does mean is something bad has happened. Oh. And you say someone must accept things the way they are. And they actually don't really know where it came from. It's been in use since like the 1950s.
That's just like explaining how you use the term, not where it came from.
Most sources say it's from the French saying "c'est la vie," or like the English version.
What about a cookie? Why is a cookie?
It's just a metaphor. There are tons of metaphors out there.
No. But the metaphor, like, what is the metaphor? A cookie crumbling?
No, when a cookie crumbles, you're eating it, and it's like brittle and it falls apart. So now you can't really eat the crumbs.
Sure, you can. You can lick them off.
Well, that's where you're having a problem, is because most people are saying, "Oh, now I don't have a cookie," but you're like, "Well, yeah, I do. I got crumbs."
No. This is what you do: get a bowl of ice cream, put those crumbs over top of the ice cream, mix it together, delicious.
Yeah, you know what? That's kind of what I do with actually. Oh my gosh, this is such an amazing. It's kind of like this is an amazing life hack. I just have to insert this in here.
Okay.
Okay, you know that like really crappy thing that happens when you've got like broken up tortilla chips at the bottom of the bag. You've got some salsa left. You just take those crumbled up pieces and you pour them into the salsa bowl and you eat it like a bowl of cereal.
Oh my gosh. You know why I'm laughing?
Great.
Because
it's great.
You've told this on the podcast already.
No, I have not.
You totally have.
That's false. I'm going to take a poll.
I'm going to go through 17 hours of podcast to prove you wrong.
I would love that, but it's not true.
Okay. No, but that is it's
an amazing life hack. Honestly,
Yeah.
it's still chips and salsa, but it's chips that you couldn't have dipped.
Like
so you
chips
just
and
eat
cereal.
them. It's just like you eat them like cereal with
we
a spoon.
should make that a dish.
It's delish.
It's delish. Okay. But what I was going to say was
the cookie crumbling.
Cookie crumbling. We should combine the two sayings of, well, if life gives you a lemon, make lemonade. If life crumbles your cookie, put it
Make a
on some
sundae.
ice cream.
That's great. Oh my gosh, listen. Can you hear her purring?
No. It's
Pretty cute.
Yeah. Kitty cat is kneading her paws.
Mm-hmm.
She's sharpening her paws.
Oh, okay. I'm excited to talk about this one. So,
Is this the chestnut?
no, it isn't, but we are going to get to that one.
Oh, wow. I can't wait.
Yeah, you excited about that one?
My room. It's going to, yeah.
You're going to love it.
At
You're
work tomorrow.
going to love this. But hands down, I've always wondered about hands down. We've talked about this one, have we not? We've been like, what the heck does that even
I
mean?
think we've talked about this on the podcast.
No, we haven't.
So we've talked about, okay, because this is how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it's like, this is hands down the best pizza.
Yeah.
I feel like you're in a room with people who are just like, who thinks they know what the best pizza is? And then they're like, this is hands down the best pizza. And everybody's
so it's like everyone
everybody's
has
like,
their hands up, like in a classroom.
They're like, I know what the best pizza is.
Me.
And like, hands down, this is the best pizza. You know, it's
This is
basically
the best
just
pizza,
like
hands down. That's
silencing the room.
We're
Just
not-
like nobody has an opinion.
Not
about
taking
this.
any more suggestions on this one. We know what it is. Yeah. That's what I thought. I just thought for sure.
Straight
this is
up.
what it is. Well, it's actually from horse racing. So when the jockeys are like racing a horse, they've got their reins in their hands to like control the horse and whatever. But if one racer is winning so well ahead of the rest of the jockeys and their horses, then they can actually just lower their hands from their reins and just let their horse coast across the finish line without actually having to really work for it. So it's basically saying like you win hands down. It was just like an easy win.
Huh.
Yeah, hands down. Like they put their hands down before the finish line because it was just that easy to win.
Wow. He was hands down the best pizza eater.
Yeah. I kind of like, I like our version better.
Yeah, me too, because it's more, well, no.
I feel like it's actually
This
more
is
applicable
why.
to my experiences in life.
Well-
I've been in far more classrooms than I have horse races.
That's true. But it also seems like more dismissive of other people's ideas, because who are you to say what the best? You're not even open to any other suggestions. You're like,
Right.
hands down, not taking any more questions. I'm not listening.
Mm-hmm.
This is my opinion, and you have to deal with it.
Right.
That's how I see it.
Whereas
So maybe
hands
that's
down in this
in the horse
term
race
is
term.
basically saying like it wins. I'm not saying it wins. It just does.
It
Easily.
just wins. Kind of just like, I am hands down, or Forrest.
Johnny is hands down the most handsome
Wow. Hands down. Put those
dad
hands
on
down.
45th Avenue I've ever seen.
What? Hands down.
Hands down.
Put those hands down.
None of you got the right answer. It's this guy.
Okay.
So, okay, that old chestnut, which is something that you brought up last week. I didn't know about this saying. Like people say, that old chestnut, and it's you got to do the hand gesture.
You know, that old chestnut.
That hand gesture where your hand's like up and then you flop it forward.
Yeah, that
old
old
chestnut.
chestnut.
Yeah. So, it's basically like the meaning of it is it's like a story that has been told repeatedly before, like a venerable joke.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of stale. It's old. It's tired. Anyway, so in 1816, there was a melodrama play called Broken Sword. And
That's a great band name, FYI.
Broken Sword.
Broken Sword.
It sounds like it would be like a sweet metal band.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there's like a couple lines in the play that go like this. So Xavier says, I entered the wood of Caleres when suddenly from the thick boughs of a cork tree, and Pablo jumps up, a chestnut, Captain, a chestnut. Captain, this is the 27th time I have heard you relate this story, and you invariably said a chestnut till now. So basically what he's saying is, you always tell this story, Captain, And every time you said it was a chestnut tree, and now you're saying it's a cork tree. Come on. I've heard this story so many times. So because that play became very, very popular in the US, it started to become a bit of a thing in the newspapers. They would like call things a chestnut because they're referencing this line in the play. Like, you know, we've heard this so many times before. We know it's a chestnut. And so then eventually saying it's an old chestnut got added in there just for effect.
Because it's like, yeah. You know what? That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. That old chestnut from a play in 1861. 16.
You know what? I had a realization.
What?
You know how when you say like, oh, good old Carly.
Yeah.
It becomes so different when you pronounce the D in old.
Good old Carly.
It's way different.
Good old Carly.
Good old Carly. Or
I think it just makes you sound a little less cool when you add the D in there.
Good old Carly. It sounds spiteful. Good old friend.
Oh, what about good on ya? What the heck does that, like, where does that come from?
Good on you.
Good on you.
I don't know.
Is it one of those, like, good things that I'm not seeing?
Is it just like a blessing? Oh, good on you. Like, good, literally, good on you. Like, I'm like, bless you. Like, good on you. I'm putting good on you.
Yeah, maybe.
It's kind of like an opposite of a curse. It's like, oh, good on you. Mm-hmm. Or they're saying like, oh, you're lucky. Good on you. Hey, good on you. Is that when you say that? When you say good on you is when something good happened to somebody?
Good on you. It's like because you did something good. Oh, good on you.
Are you saying
I feel like it's got to be Australian.
Good on you. There's good on you. Like if
no.
No, you'd say there is? Yeah, like if a butterfly.
Oh, I guess so, yeah.
You sounded like there's like a spider.
Oh, there's good on you.
There's good on me.
Can I just mention, though, that we've got this butterfly book by Dr. Seuss, and I was reading it to Forrest, and, like, stupidly, this struck me, like, for the first time in a big way, that butterflies are caterpillars first. But, like, I know that, but butterflies, I'm just like, oh, hello, beautiful butterfly. Like butterflies just seem so regal and wonderful and lovely and sweet, and they're so, just whimsical. But then a caterpillar, it just seems like.
Dude, when was the last time actually you like took a look at a caterpillar? They're friggin' beautiful. Like they're like the really fuzzy ones. Some of them are so colorful.
I used to love caterpillars so much that I collected them in a tin can, and then I guess one of them died on the bottom, and I was trying to make it move, and I blew into this tin can filled with fuzzy caterpillars, and all of their hairs came flying into my face, and I got my eye scratched, and I had to wear an eye patch.
Whoa. You have a grudge against caterpillars.
No, I just won't blow in a tin can of caterpillars again.
That old chestnut.
Oh my gosh, I have so many old chestnuts as far as you're concerned.
Gotta get rid of them. We gotta purge those chestnuts.
Like who in your life tells the most old chestnuts? Probably me.
I know who it is, but I'm not gonna say it.
Oh.
I just pointed.
That's a thing, though. That's a thing.
I just pointed to my mouth.
Just like forgetting that you said it. I've done it so many times where you're like, wait a minute, have I? Please stop me if I've told you this before. You know what I mean? And it's like, ugh. But sometimes you tell it because there's new people around, but also there are some people who've heard it before, and that's,
I never know if I should be like, if somebody's telling you the same story. What's the right thing to obviously just like let them tell it to you, right? Instead of being like, what's the whole point of being like you know
what I usually do is what I'll do is I'll try and see why they're telling me this time. So like, what's the context that they're telling me this time? So it'll be like, oh yeah, no, but and then this happened. You start to finish their story for them, but then you are helping them tell the story they want to tell this time,
right?
So it's like, oh yeah, no, but then this happened, and so what's happening now with that? You know what I mean? Right. So you help them skip ahead because you're like, these are the details I know already.
Usually I just like, I just like act like I heard it for the first time. And even though I know that they're going to get to like this crazy part, I go like, I give them a total fake. What? I've done that multiple times.
I don't even know if that's actually the kinder thing to do.
It's just the impulsive thing. It's like in the moment. It's like if you don't do something that lets them know that you've heard the story, you have to make it seem like you've
I
heard
suppose
it.
that's true. Like if you
It's like
didn't,
you've
if you didn't
gone-
give
yeah.
that notification
You've
already.
gone like, what's the phrase? Far.
Oh, it's too far gone.
No. I must be tired. I'm rubbing my arms. I can't. Far past.
You're rubbing your
the point of
arms?
no return. There we go.
The point of no return.
Past the point of no return.
Mm-hmm.
Or I will be like, oh, you told me that's so great. You know?
I know exactly what that tone
you
of voice.
totally told me that.
Oh, that's so great.
Wow, I love that. That's so cool. Or like,
You've totally done that to me before.
oh no. Or like bad news. Somebody gives you bad news again. What do? You listen.
Oh my gosh. Or how
Imagine
about
if
how
it's
about
the
this
same
one?
rules of like a stuttering person. You don't finish their sentence. You do not, even if you know that they're gonna. You just like.
You just give them time.
Yeah.
Just yep.
I feel
Let
like
'em
it's
work
the
it out.
same thing. If you
Mhm.
let somebody, you just let them tell the same story to you.
I don't know. I think respectfully, you help them along because I've been that person telling the story again, and I really would rather not just be humored.
Yeah.
You know, you're putting like all this energy into retelling the story, and then you just feel like an idiot.
Yeah.
But you know, what about when somebody told you somebody else's news or something along those lines, but then that person starts to tell you and you have that moment of panic, like, oh, do I let on that I already know, or do I give them the satisfaction of telling me? You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like somebody already told me that, you know, so-and-so got a new job, or, you know, something along those lines, or so-and-so already told me this person's story, but now they're starting to tell you and you're just like, whoa, am I going to tell
Right.
them that I already knew this? No.
Yeah. I feel like there's the same rules, but less intense.
Mhm.
You can just be like, oh yeah, I heard. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Now, how about, so we're talking about like letting people in on something that you already know. So how about when you like are chatting with somebody that you feel like you should remember their name, but you don't?
Oh, I
What's
have a
your strategy?
If I'm with you, I say, this is my wife, Carly, and then step back
Mm-hmm.
and then just observe. It's
Or-
like, okay, and then you'll be like, what's your name? Sorry. What's your name?
Totally. So a lot of the times it's great when you have like a wing person like that, because you can also let them know, like, hey, I don't know their name. Introduce yourself, right?
Yeah, it gets really bad at my work because there's a lot of people that I don't remember their name, and I have to write them and send them something. They'll be like, oh yeah, can you send me that over email? Bye. And I'm like, oh no, Sarah, you know, and
Yeah.
then I have to be like, if somebody was in the room, I'd be like, what's their name? But if nobody, I have to kind of describe them. They work in this department.
Oh, that's so
They have
hard.
brown hair. Oh,
Yeah, when
so
you have a big
bad.
workplace, that's pretty challenging. In social situations, you know what I'll do is I will reintroduce myself. Although it doesn't work, like, it depends on how.
There's certain people that know you. For
Yes,
sure.
exactly. There's definitely
Especially
like
when you're in
scenarios where,
radio.
but there's been times where like it's a friend of a friend and you met them at a party once, and now that you're meeting them again, you know, you're like, I think it's fair that I don't know their name, and
Right.
I'm going to let them know that I think it's fair if they don't remember my name. It's almost like a kind gesture. So it's like, hey, listen up. I'm just going to like let you know what my name is because you might have forgotten, and now can you remind me too? So, you know what I mean? It's like
Right.
a preemptive strike.
And you give them a chance to be like, oh, I remember your name.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though if they're like, no.
I remember you.
Dude, of
Remember
course
we
I
had
remember
this
you.
like profound
Do you
conversation.
remember me?
We touched each other's hearts.
We are both heart surgeons, and we performed surgery on each other.
I can't believe you don't remember my name. I performed heart surgery on you.
And you better know the name of somebody who's surgerying in on your heart.
Actually, most of the time we don't even know our doctor's first names, do we?
James?
That is our doctor's first name, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's
But
true.
like when you go to the ER, or, you know, a lot of the times they just say it's, oh, Dr. Lai.
Dr. Lai.
And we have a doctor who's named Dr. Lai. Like,
Oh my gosh, that's suspicious.
that's super sketchy.
I'm
You
just
know
like,
what? I had a
yeah.
bad feeling about this from the start. We're just going to get out of here.
What are you telling me? It's like, oh yeah, you need to exercise every day. That doesn't sound right. What if I don't feel like exercising? Yep, you have to do it. I'm like, that sounds
Why
like
would
a
you lie to
lie.
me?
It's the exercise companies. It's the shoe companies that are paying off our doctors.
You know what? This is lies
They
we're telling
want us,
ourselves.
yeah, they want us to jog and they want us to get fit. And it's all these exercise clothing and fitness companies, MEC, they're lobbying, they're paying doctors off to get us to buy their stuff when we don't need to exercise. We just need to sit around. What we can do is exercise our kegels.
Yeah, we don't need any. You don't need workout clothes for that.
No, not at all.
But I will say,
Maybe
it's more encouraging if you put workout clothes on. Here's a little hack.
You're just like, I'm going to work out my kegels.
Actually, you know what I used to do back when I was better at like working out is the occasional time I'd put on my workout clothes, like very matter of fact, like, okay, I'm going to work out because that's what I always do. And then I just get a little bit sidetracked. And I don't know, I'd be checking my email and I'd like write a complaint email to like a place I bought something at. This product didn't work out. Or this,
you wrote two of those today.
I know, that's why I'm referencing that. And they were legit too. We can talk about that in a second. But anyway, long story short, you didn't work out. You take your workout clothes off. You feel like you did work out and you just feel like, oh yeah, I totally earned a blizzard today.
Or you shower after.
Yeah, totally.
Just have a shower. Oh, I must stink. But you do stink. But not because of working out.
But I need to clarify, like, you take your workout clothes off and you know what you're doing. You know you didn't work out. But you're like, you know what? Actually, I didn't think about it. But like this, I need to actually do this now. And I don't have the time to do what I needed to do. But you actually feel better because you wore workout clothes.
That's a life hack right there. Mm-hmm. If you don't want to work out, but you want to feel the dopamine of working out, or at least some of it, just put on that clothing and then walk around a bit.
Yep. Another life hack, actually, I just had yesterday. When you're getting dressed, just don't put your usual clothes on. Just put your workout clothes on in the morning. And then it forces you to
wear your workout clothing.
Yeah, it forces you. Well, okay. This is the reason why I'm saying this is if you already had the goal to work out, but you're like me and you constantly are trying to just like, wiggle your way out of it. Like, oh, it looks like it's gotten too late, or oh, I'm too tired. I just want to lie here or whatever. Once you put your workout clothes on, it's just that extra motivation factor that you need. You're like, well, I'm already in my workout clothes.
Yeah. I think for me, workout clothes can be like, oh, these are like pajamas. They're comfy enough. They're stretchy. But I think the real way to trick yourself into a workout, put on your workout clothing and then sleep, go back to bed, eat a bunch of carrots before you go to bed because carrots give you sleepwalking powers. Use those powers, channel yourself to go for a run, sleepwalk.
That'd be the best.
Or sleepwalk, just like slowly, not that much exercise, miles down the road. You wake up and you have to get home. You don't have your wallet, and then you have to run home.
I feel like if you could do that and like sleep exercise, I would probably do it just until it was at the point where like my body was back into shape again. Because I actually, once I'm feeling in shape, I feel good about exercising. Like I want to do it, and I'd like to be conscious for it because you get all these endorphins from it. But it's when like you're kind of out of shape and you need to get back into it that it's the worst.
That's me right now.
Yeah, me too.
I'm tired. I got work to do tonight.
Okay. Yep. I was gonna say one last thing.
Oh, it's almost over.
As we're about to wrap this up. I had the worst case of having an asleep arm today. Like I actually was afraid that my arm was gonna fall off.
Was it like prickly?
No, it didn't. It wasn't even prickly anymore. It was just gone. Like I just didn't have the feeling.
That.
Like I had to use my other arm to lift up my arm. And also like I was with Forrest and he's starting to get up and I'm like, I can't move my arm. Can't feel it.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, and like, this is my context for why I thought it was going to fall off is because I grew up on a hobby farm and I learned that the way that you dock a sheep's tail when it's a little baby lamb is you just like tie a thick rubber band around its tail and you just let it sit there for days and then it falls off.
Huh.
Because it cuts the circulation off. And I was like, oh
but,
my gosh, the circulation on my arm is cut off.
But I remember looking this up once and it's actually not the circulation that's being cut off because it would you would feel it more if blood was leaving. It's more like your nerve endings are getting cut off.
Oh.
Yeah, that's when your hand's asleep. So like getting your hand, it's not actually that dangerous. It's just like blocking the receptors to get to your brain.
Oh my gosh, this like alleviates so many of
Yeah.
my fears.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Johnny. I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Okay, I'm ready to.
We're going to hit the hay here, folks.
This may or may not be our longest PCast.
Look at us talking for a good long ass time.
We'll never
babe,
run out of things to say.
Another one in the bucket. Another drop in the bucket.
Another drop. What is that?
I don't know. For next time.
If you ever wanted to know what drop in the bucket was, don't even worry about Googling it. We will Google it for you, record it in a podcast in a week from now, and then release it a week later.
That's right. Booyah.
Yeah, not a week later. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. 4 days later. I had to count with my fingers the amount of days between Monday and Friday.
That's not a crazy thing, man. You're excused from that. I got tired all of a sudden. Let's just hit the hay.
I wish.
You want to hit the hay?
I gotta
see. There's another saying that crops up.
Nah, I think
that's pretty self-explanatory.
I think it's literally like,
when people slept on hay, they just hit the hay.
Did people sleep on hay?
Oh yeah, there's like hay beds.
What?
There you have it.
There.
All right.
There,
honey. I want to be able to brush my teeth and put my pajamas on tonight. So let's
those are two easy things to do.
No, but what I'm saying is I just can't seem to do that these days because our son wakes up before I finish doing those things. So let's go to bed.
Let's go to B-E-D.
Okay, I love you, honey.
Love you too. And signing off, it's John Jansen, your host, Carly Waldy.
What?
And special guest, Johnny. I don't know what I'm saying. We'll probably just cut this out. Bye.
All right. What did I tell you about low key, hey? Thanks for hanging out with us. As usual, if there's anything you heard referenced you want to find out more about, check out our show notes for this episode at carlyandjohnny.com. And if we don't include it there, you can always message us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook with the handle at Carly and Johnny. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, we love you. Goodbye.
Your mother and I love you very much. Your mother and I love you very much.